Alright, so went out in the garden. Spices are all starting, some of them are starting to bolt and stuff. It's getting warmer. We got, let's see what we got in the basket. We got a few squash, we got some thyme, we got some basil, we got a bunch of pea pods down in there. Some of them got large. What else we got? We got some beans in there too. I mean, there's cukes, nice little pickling cukes. What else? There we go. We got some more squash. We got some parsley. All the spices were starting to bolt a little bit, so I clipped them back. Let's take a little walk around the garden today. All right. We planted a few hollyhocks down here in the corner, and we got some. I like that purple basil plant. That's one of my favorites. What we got there? I think that's sativa. No, that's sage right there. We've got some dill over there. We've got some dill over here that's gone past. We got a couple of different kinds of mint. There's one back there. There's a peppermint. A little hollyhock. We got some mint that's going crazy. It always spreads like wildfire over here. And we come back up here. That's sativa or whatever. That's the, it's like sugar. Sweet. Stevia. That's what it is. Stevia. We got a head of lettuce, but that's kind of bold. It's too late for lettuce around here. I got a few heads of celery out here. They're probably not going to make it either because of the heat. I got a sweet basil plant here. Another hollyhock in the back. I got some parsley over in there. Hollyhocks planted in between. I'm trying to think of what that is back there. I can't remember. God damn it. Anybody knows? Put it in the comments below. Let's see if I can. Man, that smells familiar. Let's see. What is that? A basil? Yeah, it's a type of basil. It's a different type of basil, I believe. It smells like basil. Then we got another plant over there. I can't remember either. Damn it. Then we got some cilantro. We got a pepper plant planted in there. We got some rosemary. Another hollyhock. And the peas, they're starting, the heat is starting to take effect. Oh, there's a couple she missed. I had one little neighbor kids picking the peas today. She likes to help me in the garden. I like the idea that she can learn. She's taking an interest, so it's good. It's good when a young kid takes interest in something besides just the telephone or the computer, if you know what I mean. So, let's see. We got a little sunflower, I say a little one because it's only about 3 feet tall over here. And then we've got a rack of pepper plants. Bing, boom, bing. And around the back of the pepper plants, I planted some pole beans. I'm going to have to go in and clip a bunch of them out, I know, but I don't care. So I will do that. And when the peas come out, probably in the next week or so, I got some starters on some bush beans that are going to go in. There's actually a couple of bush bean plants in the back there. Did I plan to just throw them in there? Sorry, it's getting dark. And there's more peppers. And if you look, I've got some sunflowers. And I'd say they're at least 7 feet tall now. They're supposed to be mammoth.
Mammoth flowers.
Mammoth sons.
Huge one.
But if you come over and look, I don't know what's going on. They were supposed to be single head mammoths. And look at every node, they're getting a flower head. You got the little flower on the top here. Look, there's a bee sitting right on it right now. Hornet or whatever. But whatever wants to pollinate my flowers can have welcome to it. We got some more. This thyme plant, I've clipped it back 3 times already this year. I let it grow, it's like grass. I clip it back, I dry it in the dehydrator. I've got over a quart of thyme in there. Come down along here, the lettuce is all bolted. But in there I have a sage plant back in there. I have some of the scallions. Oh, what is this? I forgot all about this. This could be trimmed. This is another spice in there. Where the hell is it? Can't see it, it's too dark. It might be it's a different kind of thyme. I like thyme in my cooking. We got the old celery that bolted. And look at this in this little bucket. We got one of the onions doing really well. Come around, I clipped up the zucchinis. I clipped all the leaves off. I'm not getting bees. It's not pollinating. And with my pain, I can't get out here early enough while the flowers are open to pollinate it by hand, but I will. I'm trying to trim up so they grow and keep growing up the stalk. They should grow pretty good. They've been cleaned up. We got some tomatoes here with some decent plant. Oh, we'll come back over here. Look at these plants, these tomatoes. I think these are paste tomato, I'm not sure. See if you can get a look at one of them. See, they look like they're sucked in. I think they're mostly meat tomato, but that's good. I got some weeds I gotta get rid of. There's another one with some hanging off. And we got some patio brand over here. And we'll come back over here. I believe these are the patio tomatoes too. I got a lot of leaf curl today. Let's see if it's because they're lacking water or because, yeah, they're a little dry. These pots, there's so many in there that these pots dry up daily. I'm gonna have to water this stuff tonight. And I got some other tomatoes in here. What do we got? Let's see what the Jet Stars. Jet Star tomatoes right there. Started a few pole beans about 3 weeks ago. And I had to add on to the cage today because they're already outgrowing it. Buckets, I thought. Come over here, I got another bucket of tomatoes. So these ones are behind because I got them in late from the little pots. They've been stunted. Romas, we got some Romas. I think we got some indeterminates here, I'm not sure, but they look like they might be. No, they're not cherries because there's not enough blossoms altogether. And then we got a bucket of tomatoes that I wasn't going to throw away because they were just laying around. I made this little thing to wind them up in. Let's see if we can get a better picture of that. I mean, I'll grow out of anything. If you come over here and look, I got a bank of tomatoes. I think there's 19 plants in there. And they are all, it's like a friggin' jungle. Yep, it's like a jungle. I got no space, but I'm growing. All right, we got a few plants over here that I haven't been able to get in the ground. They're drier than hell because it's hot here today. But I got a few peppers left, some tomatoes. I'm gonna water them up tonight, fertilize them. I'd like somebody to come take them. I just don't have the room or the energy to put them in. A little water and fertilizer, put them in the ground, they'll take off. Over here, I started some bush beans, which I'm gonna put in, replace the snap peas. And I think I've got a second round of squash, which I'm going to replace some of the squash and zucchini with, try and get a second planting out when these plants slow down. I had these 3 blueberry bushes. They're high bush blueberries. And I had these over here last year where the tomatoes are growing, and they did not like it. They actually almost died on me. So I moved them, and they like it. They're growing like a bastard over here. We're going to let them go. Over in the back here, I took the clothesline pole. I don't know why this camera is so tight, but it is. And I've got a piece of PVC down the bottom with holes drilled in it. I got to put some more strings on it. I got it up there. I'm going to lay that in front of the rocks, stake it down on the ends. And these are a batch of pickling cubes I threw in here. I just thinned them down a little, but I'm going to keep them tight. And I'm going to get them to grow up there. There's another pepper plant that's going to go in that pot. See if we make it. I made this little water fountain. It self-recirculates for the birds. And if you look behind it, there's a bale of hay. I think the wire is 3 feet tall. So I rolled up the wire. I put a little hay around the outside, and I threw the dirt and worked its way up, and I planted potatoes all the way through it. And I've got potatoes in that thing like nobody knows. Got another bucket of peppers. We've got a bucket of different squash here. I think these are golden zucchinis. And I've got an empty bucket here waiting. I'm going to plant something in there this week. Now, yeah, I like this flower. It's a nice flower. I threw some flowers in to see if I could bring extra bees in. I've got this one, and then I've got this little one over here with these other flowers. I think that's one of the crazy flowers. There's one on the other side. I'll show you. And I've got some winter squash in here. I thought these were winter squash, but by my surprise, look what we got growing. And they're not winter squash. If I'm not mistaken, that looks like a pumpkin. That looks like another baby pumpkin. So we got a few pumpkins, and there's some more over here. They're coming out there everywhere. I got 4 eggplants in this bucket here, which are doing well, but it seems like I got some bugs, a little starting of them. After the rain tonight, I am going to get out here and spray some neem oil. I've thinned back the squash plants here, the yellow squash. Trim down the leaves on the bottom, get some airflow in there. And I've picked a bunch of squash. I probably picked 20 pounds so far. Let's see. I got pickling cukes in this bucket. And they're coming slow but sure, but look at all the flowers we got. There's flowers, and they seem to be happy growing up the wire, which they're gonna make the top of the wire before you know it. And over here we got a little more squash. We got some yellow squash, two different types. We got the long straight ones, and we got the crook necks in here. If we keep moving back, we've got some watermelons. A couple of types over here, little baby ones, the sweet ones. And there's some flowers coming, they're starting. We're getting some flowers. And then we'll come over here, this bucket of lettuce. I keep wanting to clip it because it's gonna bolt anyway. And that's where the melon's gonna go so they can grow up the fence. Come over here, I've got a couple of yellow squash plants in here. And then there seems to be a winter squash that got mixed in, and it's running out into the other garden, which I'll show you on the other side. Alright, we got there's some more yellow squash. I picked some today. There's some ones starting out. They'll probably be ready tomorrow or the next day. We've got the bucket of basil. I don't know what's up with this camera, but it's like wicked tight. And I want to get it back. Whole bucket of basil there, which I'm going to take soon. And then I'm just going to transplant something else. We got some beets here that seem to be doing all right. And I believe these are Brussels sprouts over here. We got a bucket of Brussels sprouts. And over here next, we got the onions. We got some carrots. I pulled a small carrot and ate it today because I had to. And then we've got some more little rows of carrots that are just starting. Hopefully I get something by the fall. We got some weeds, damn it. Weeds are everywhere. I hate weeds, but doesn't everybody? All right, let's see. Then we got some more pepper plants in this bucket. This little thing of hay came about because I had so many tomato plants laying around because all my seeds started. I didn't know what to do with them. So I made another one of those circles of hay, wire, and I threw in the hay, filled it with the dirt, and I just planted them in there just to get rid of them. I got the little dollar store flower pots with a bunch of herbs growing in there. Come around to the back side. Let's see what we got. This is one of those, what is it? The thing that attracts the bees. Honeysuckle. It's a honeysuckle vine. One of my neighbors bought me. And it seems like it's starting to get a bunch of flowers on it. And then I have one of these passion flower plants down here. The flowers are one of the weirdest flowers I've ever seen. I'm going to actually pick one right now because I can. All right, let's see if I can get it off the vine without breaking anything. It doesn't want to. Give me 1 second, I'll put the camera down. I'm going to pull one of those flowers so you can see it. Ah, man, I can't get it off. Here we go. I wrecked half of it. Son of a gun. All right, let's pick it back up. Where are you guys? I wrecked half of it, but there's a lot more of them. Look at this thing. I planted these, hopefully to attract some bees. Maybe even some hummingbirds. All right, on this side we threw little flowers in, trying to grab some insects and bees that like the garden. Pick the dead heads. We got them in tomato cans there, the little dollar stores, and some more purple, flowers. Like I said, out of the back side of the garden, I've got the winter squash. It's growing right out of that bucket over there. I'm going to let it come down through here. And I think it'll root if it gets underneath the compost. We got some other flowers that are going seed here, which I'm going to take the seeds so I can try and make some next year. More flowers, more flowers. Little homemade doohickey bending the PVC with hot sand. And I think that one's like a burning bush flower. Let's see. This one should get some big bright red flowers. What is that? Put the tags in because I can't remember shit. Where are you? Bee balm. Bee balm. Fireball. All right. We got a couple of buckets of strawberries over here. 1, 2, 3. I already had them planted someplace. They didn't like it. I moved them. They like it in these buckets, and they seem to be throwing out runners. I'm going to leave them and let them take over this section over here.
Wonderful.
Oh. The bastard scared the shit out of me. Then over here, we've got the Thai hot pepper, ornamental pepper. This grows with the peppers growing on the top of it. It's kind of unusual. I liked it, had to have one. I'm gonna see if I can grow it. We'll find out. I hate weeds again. That's what you get when you get your compost from the dump for free. And that's gonna be a purple bell pepper. And again, there's a bucket, so why not have a squash plant in it? And this is another one of those vines that gets these really weird flowers. I think it gets the flowers like this. Where is it? Like that. Come around the corner, I had an extra watermelon planted too. So I put them in the bucket, and they're gonna go up the wire up there too. Oh, this is what that little flower was right here. The Monterova. See? Come over here, and we've got some cucumbers in a bucket. And this is the back side of the watermelons. If we come down the fence here, this big looking ugly weed that everybody thinks is a weed is actually a horseradish plant. I had it in the old garden, couldn't kill it, run it over the lawnmower. So we sliced it in half after we moved it last year, this year, to put the border in around the garden. It's growing. This fall I'm gonna harvest it and make my own horseradish. Got your compost bin over there. I still got a little more dirt and a little more cleaning up to do, but I got 4 bags of soil. I'm gonna get some compost and make up with some peat, make up some more soil so we can plant a couple more buckets before the end of. And if you come around here, I got some more hollyhocks in the can, and I actually have these are melons. I got to get them in the ground. These are cantaloupes, and those are going to be going in soon. And I still have a couple of buckets of flowers up there we got to transplant. The rabbits ate 2 trays on me, but we'll get over that. So, like I said, I got a few tomato plants that are dying off a little bit if I don't get some water on them, but we're going to do that. And that's about it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed the little tour of the garden. I'll post another video in a few days, show you what's going on, show you what's being done. Everybody have a good night.